Hello and welcome. This training is intended to provide guidance to New York State VFC providers on temperature monitoring device calibration. The New York State VFC program requires all VFC providers to use a calibrated, continuous temperature monitoring device called a digital data logger or DDL to monitor temperatures in each unit that stores publicly funded vaccine, including units used for transport, both for non-emergency and emergency. Each device must have a current certificate of traceability and calibration testing. Please refer to training number 7 in this series, Selecting Temperature Monitoring Equipment, for required DDL features. Providers are also required to have at least one backup calibrated continuous temperature monitoring device or DDL with a current certificate of calibration for each storage unit holding publicly funded vaccine. The backup devices should be used in case of equipment failure or when your calibration testing is due for your primary devices. Your backup devices should have different calibration dates than your primary devices. Per the CDC's Storage and Handling Toolkit, linked here and on the resources document provided with this training, calibration is defined as the professional measurement of a temperature monitoring device's readings against nationally accepted standards. Accuracy for digital data loggers must be within plus or minus 1 degree Fahrenheit or plus or minus 0.5 degrees Celsius. Routine calibration testing should be done every 2 to 3 years, or according to the manufacturer's suggested timeline. The calibration certificate should indicate the date the device was calibrated and the date the next calibration is due. Data loggers must have calibration dates no more than 3 years from the date last calibrated. Temperature monitoring devices can experience a drift over time, impacting their accuracy. This testing ensures the accuracy of the device continues to conform to nationally accepted standards. Mishandling a DDL can impact its accuracy. If your DDL is dropped or potentially damaged in any way, its accuracy should be checked against another calibrated DDL. If there is any question about the accuracy of the device, it should be replaced or sent for calibration testing. The date the most recent calibration was performed and the date the next calibration is due should appear on your calibration certificate. It may also appear on the back or the side of the device. If the dates do not appear on the certificate, or you did not receive the certificate, contact the manufacturer to provide a proper certificate of calibration. There are 2 types of laboratories that can perform acceptable calibration under New York State VFC requirements. The first is a laboratory with accreditation from an International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation or ILAC Mutual Recognition Arrangement or MRA signatory body. Calibration testing and traceability that is performed by a laboratory with accreditation from an ILAC MRA signatory body assures the user that testing performed meets the appropriate standards. It is also acceptable for a non-accredited laboratory to perform the calibration as long as they state that they adhere to ISO 17025, which is the International Organization for Standardization's general requirements for the competence of testing and calibration laboratories. Keep in mind that even if a vendor or laboratory claims to certify temperature monitoring devices, this does not necessarily mean their calibration process meets ISO 17025 standards, or that they are appropriately accredited. If the vendor or manufacturer does not handle calibration, you must find an acceptable calibration laboratory. The ILAC has a web resource that you can use to look up acceptable calibration laboratories. The link can be found on this slide, also in the resources document provided with these trainings. Here are some cheat sheets to help determine if a calibration certificate is acceptable. Accredited laboratories will have one of the logos seen on the left, in addition to the items listed below. Refer to the list of items on the right to determine if calibration from a non-accredited laboratory is acceptable. This slide displays a sample calibration certificate from an accredited laboratory. Note the logos and other listed information. The DDL manufacturer should be able to provide information on recommendations for recalibration of your data logger. They will need to know the accuracy or uncertainty requirements within plus or minus 1 degree Fahrenheit or plus or minus 0.5 degrees Celsius. Before sending your data logger out for calibration, you must place a certified calibrated backup data logger in your vaccine storage unit, as the storage units must be constantly monitored. When the data logger is returned, look for the calibration certificate in the box. If not included, immediately contact the company and request it to be emailed or faxed. Calibration certificates must be made available upon request from the New York State VFC program. Also note that units with built-in digital data loggers require on-site calibration services. Inquire about the cost of calibration versus the cost of purchasing a new digital data logger. Purchasing new is often less expensive than having an existing device recalibrated. Some data loggers are not built to be recalibrated. Please keep in mind that the New York State-supplied Fridge Tag 2L digital data loggers may not be recalibrated. Thank you for your participation in this training on temperature monitoring device calibration. As always, any questions can be sent to NYVFC@health.ny.gov.